Thanks everyone for your time in listening to us today. You are all busy and we want to reward your investment with something worthwhile. We've been building software for a while now. Our product, CloudStep, has been built over 5 years and is used by businesses across the world to help them understand the cost of their current ICT estate and to plan for, budget and execute transformation projects. Over that time, we've learned a lot about what works and through some painful failure what doesn't. We've been distilling this into a process we think can bring the startup culture of software development to enterprise and government. We have a small team that can move mountains. We leverage AI and automation to do things quickly and efficiently. We compare this with the traditional way of building software and wonder why million-dollar projects fail, why budgets are constantly blown and expectations not met, and disappointment and failure are so often the outcome. It doesn't have to be this way, and we want to show you how and why.
In thinking about any process, starting with what you don't want is sometimes useful. We don't want the experience to be miserable and risky for all involved. Technology should solve real-world problems, not create them. And it's important to imagine what success looks like. These provide some guiding principles and rules. And because our product CloudStep is all about saving money, we wanted to bring that thinking to our software development process. We start with a vision session. Here we get people together, learn about the problem being solved and brainstorm how we can build an app or system to solve it. We keep the problem and the solution at the center with technology firmly in the background. From here, if it seems like there's a way forward, we move to a solution scoping exercise. This involves architecture, design and data modeling, capturing all the requirements and designing and budgeting the project. If we get a green light at that point, a series of feature drops happen. A bit like a sprint, these lead to real deliverables people can experience. They're fixed price but variable in time, respecting the reality that people have day jobs as well as the project we're working on.
The vision session starts with a questionnaire. We'll prime the pump for a workshop by asking some pointed questions about the problem we're here to solve. This will give us something to work with and prepare, but also gets people's creative juices flowing. It ensures we don't waste people's time in a workshop. We hold a 2-hour design workshop to brainstorm solutions, and from this we'll have enough to propose the next step, which is solution scoping. We'll have a feel at this point how many feature drops we think the solution might need, and hence what the overall budget might look like. The sorts of people we want to engage through this are in the business. The people who live the problem we're trying to solve. We need people from IT to place the solution in a context, and we use their perspectives to complete the picture. We don't charge for any of this. There's no delivered capability yet, so there should be no charge.
The solution scoping exercise isn't a massive thing. As we move through the project, much of what is decided or understood may change. Pretending we can answer all these questions up front is wishful thinking. So let's set a guiding star, build an initial design and then estimate around that. We can always triage later around requirements if necessary, parking discovery exercises to later. This early on there might not be a budget for anything, so a $100,000 scoping and design exercise won't fly. We want a short engagement that respects everyone's time but delivers great value for a modest investment. We want to understand what the project is, or at least where it starts and where it can go. The solution scoping document contains architecture, high-level design, data modeling, and functional and non-functional requirements. It also includes an effort estimate and broad organization into feature drops for the various capabilities envisioned. For $5,000, that's outstanding value.
When we've got sign-off, the first commitment will be a proof of concept feature drop. Each drop is fixed price but variable duration. At the start of the project, we want to come out of the gate at a sprint. We'll set up the initial development environment we host that to make it happen faster. We'll then build out the data model and bring the thing to life. This happens in days. We get to work building out the capabilities using our Nimbus platform. It's a combination of Kubernetes, Django, your choice of database engine, and a multi-processing system all out of the box. We use Visual Studio Code, Copilot for AI-powered software development, and technologies like Microsoft Dataverse, PowerApp, Flutter for mobile development, and React for native web apps. Feature drops are run a bit like sprints, and we work with your project managers to govern the process. Our aim in this drop is to build something the business can see and play with many of the key features roughly working or prototype. We use this to gain feedback, build momentum, and get people excited. This is great value at $30,000 and means at this point you can proceed, wait, or abandon the work as experiment. You've only invested $35,000 at this point, not $350,000 to learn it won't work. But let's assume that this does have legs. The next thing is to turn the POC into a minimum viable product. Actually, get it out there being played with to really learn what's possible or whether we're on the right track. In government, putting things into production can be hard, but we know which buttons to press here. The first thing we do is set up the production environments. They are a clone of the dev environment. Our automation sees it all the same way. We then harden the solution doing pen testing and locking down authentication. We spend some time honing some of the features and any tasks we park from the POC feature drop. Lastly, we hand over the solution to the business as a pilot program. We work with them to put it in place and help them understand how to measure it and determine if it meets the requirements. So, from concept to something out in the field, there's a total investment of $65,000. Excellent value to show progress in solving sometimes intractable problems. These solutions might be internal, or they might be citizen-facing. Anything is up for grabs.
Once we've learned what we need to from the MVP, additional features can be scheduled as enhancement drops. These have the same $30,000 pricing scheme as the other drops. By chunking them in this way, we can be sure that investment is placed in the features people need and that we have maintained a focus on the problem at hand, not veered off in another direction. It's rare that software ends up where it was imagined to go at the start. Sometimes you don't know what you need until you see or feel it. Or as you work more on the problem, you understand it in ways you didn't before. Software is a tool used to solve problems. We believe this process respects reality, balances budget with outcomes, and leverages technology rather than being a slave to it. We believe we can help you solve problems quickly and efficiently. We'd appreciate the opportunity to talk to each of your agencies about the problems they have today. Give us the hard ones, the speculative ones, or even the ones where there's been failures before. We're here to help, and we've got the right approach to deliver to a budget.